Let's get started. Thank you for joining us today. We're super excited to have you here. I'm Megan. I'm on the AI product marketing team here at Zendesk, and I'm going to be your host. Big thanks to all of you who joined us on a busy day. We know your time is valuable, but we've got an awesome group of people here to help guide the conversation. Each of these individuals works very closely with our AI-powered knowledge, and they're here to walk us through the functionality, answer questions that you either submitted in advance of the event or as they come in through the Q&A tab. So just a friendly reminder, if you're new to these events, we like to keep any questions that you ask in the Q&A portion. So down below, it says Q&A. We like to reserve the chat for saying hello to a friend, asking or just saying hi, getting excited about maybe some of the announcements that we're sharing with you all, and then reserving the Q&A tab to ask your specific questions or give feedback. We have our experts standing by in that channel to answer your questions as they come through. Please be patient with them, give them time to give you an answer. Anything that we just don't get to today, of course, we're going to follow up on. Quick housekeeping, this event is being recorded. We'll send this recording to you as well as the deck and any resources that we talked about, as well as any answers to questions that were submitted throughout the event. So with that, I'll pass it off to my colleague, Michelle, who's going to help walk us through just how successful knowledge will set you up for AI success. So Michelle?
Today, after all, we are talking about the power of knowledge and how it is the key to unlocking AI success. If you are just as excited to be here today, let us know where you're dialing in from. Post it in the chat. And together we'll explore how to make your knowledge base the cornerstone of transformational service experiences. Now, we all know that knowledge is the foundation of success, whether it is creating unforgettable customer experiences or empowering your employees. A strong knowledge base makes it all possible. And when you pair that with the power of AI, you truly unlock incredible opportunities like automating resolutions, boosting efficiency, and even driving meaningful results. So here's the big idea. Your knowledge base can completely revolutionize your service journey. From the very first interaction to the final resolution, it is the backbone of seamless, intelligent, and effective AI-driven service. So if you want AI to deliver real results, which I think we all do, it all starts with building and optimizing the right knowledge base. So let's dive in and explore how to make your knowledge base and take it to the next level. All right, so let's take a moment to just zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Your knowledge base is the engine that powers the entire customer experience. Whether it's your customers searching for answers, or your AI agents resolving issues, or your agents assisting customers with complex inquiries, the knowledge base is at the core of everything. Let's think about it. It powers self-service experiences by surfacing the right answer at the top of the search results in your help center. It enables your AI agents to deliver fast, consistent, and accurate resolutions without human intervention, helping your customers 24/7. And it also equips your live agents in the agent workspace with the right information at the right time, so they can provide efficient, personalized support to customers when it matters most. Now, in every step of the service journey, your knowledge base is doing the heavy lifting. And without it, your customers struggle to find those answers. All right, now let's talk about the challenges in knowledge management. While we all know how a powerful, well-structured knowledge base can be, getting there isn't always easy, am I right? Now, the journey is often filled with roadblocks that can slow you down or even hinder your ability to transform customer experiences. So let's unpack a few of these challenges. First, we all know that customers' expectations are evolving. Today's customers, they want fast, accurate answers anytime and anywhere. So if your knowledge base can't keep up, it creates friction leading to frustration and dissatisfaction. And one bad experience can erode trust in your brand. So meeting these expectations, it isn't just important, it is essential. Now, then there's the issue of inconsistent information for your agents. Imagine being a support agent and trying to help a customer, but the knowledge base is giving you outdated or conflicting information. It's frustrating for everyone, and it weakens the trust in your service. Inconsistency isn't just a nice to have, it's really critical for a great experience. And finally, businesses face the challenge of scaling their knowledge base. As your company grows, so do your products and your services and your operations. So without the right tools and processes, your knowledge base can quickly become outdated, disorganized, or just plain out overwhelming. But there is good news. These challenges are absolutely solvable. Tackling them is the first step towards building a strong knowledge base that empowers agents, delights customers, and sets the stage for AI-driven information. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. So let's talk about how your Zendesk knowledge base will set you up for success with AI. So first, let's talk about building a knowledge base, one that's accurate, simple, and scalable. With generative AI, creating great content has never been easier. So here are some best practices to guide you. First, know your audience and understand their common issues. You can use your data to uncover common questions. A great knowledge base starts with answering the most frequently asked questions or addressing those reoccurring pain points. Your customer feedback. You can also review your ticket data, review your popular macros, and also common intents, or just simply search the trends to identify those topics that matter most. And then second, start small and let AI do the heavy lifting. Don't let that blank page intimidate you. Start with just a few bullet points or just a few sentences. This could be from some notes that you may have kept on the side, or you can even take some of the responses that you've sent to your customers. Then use the generative AI expand tool to build out that full article. Generative AI can take your ideas and transform them into clear, well-structured content, saving you time and effort while ensuring consistency across your knowledge base. And then once you have your knowledge base built out and your articles, you can use the Simplify tool to refine and clarify. You want to make sure that your content is easy to read and understand for anyone who needs it. The key here is to make sure you're speaking in the same language as your customers. You want to make sure you're using their tone and the words they use and understand when you're crafting your articles. And finally, let's talk about reaching your global audience. So I am super excited to announce a brand new feature, AI translations for articles. This feature allows you to quickly translate and localize your content to align with the needs of your diverse audience. This eliminates the need to manually translate articles. And here's the best part. It will be available in early access in just a couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for this release and make sure you're signing up to make sure you're one of the first ones that's able to use it. Okay, so now let's talk about structuring your knowledge base for success. A well-structured, organized knowledge base isn't just about great articles. It's also about making sure your content is easy to find, navigate, and use. So here's how you can take your content arrangement to the next level. Think about the structure and understand your user behavior. Take the time to learn how users, both your customers and your agents, navigate your knowledge base. Knowing their habits will help you organize content in a way that feels natural and intuitive. A good tip here is to think about how your website is organized and how it flows. Just like a good website, your knowledge base should guide users naturally to the answers they're looking for. And then once you've got that, you can group related topics together, keeping things coherent by organizing related sections and topics. This ensures that your users can quickly find answers without jumping between unrelated areas. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. With article multiplacement, you can seamlessly place a single article in multiple sections or multiple brands of your knowledge base. You can just create the article once and place it everywhere that it needs to be. This means no more duplicating or copying and pasting. It's all about reusing your best articles wherever they're relevant. And then lastly, you want to empower your agents to contribute. Your agents are the front line and they know what's missing. With the knowledge panel and agent workspace, they can easily request new articles to be created directly from the workspace. All right, so let's talk about making your knowledge base content not just accurate, but also easy to find and use. Even the best articles won't be very helpful if they're buried or they're hard to locate, right? So first, you'll want to enhance the searchability with content labels. Assigning content labels to your articles makes them easier to surface in search results. You could think about labels as like breadcrumbs that lead users directly to the right content. And then next, you want to empower your agents with AI-generated quick answers. Getting the right information to your agent is critical, right? Well, you can speed up the response time by presenting agents with AI-generated quick answers that they can use while assisting customers. This ensures that your agents always have accurate, context-aware responses at their fingertips, right in the agent workspace. Now, lastly, you want to activate generative search for your help center. Let's take our search experience in our help center to the next level, right? That's what it's all about, innovating. By activating generative search, customers can access AI-generated answers right at the top of the help center. So no more sifting through articles or community posts to find the right answer. And when generative search is enabled, users can find information through external resources. This means faster resolutions and fewer clicks for your users. Now, if you pair that with AI agents, you can provide customers with context-aware answers instantly, no matter where they're reaching out. Now, remember earlier we talked about using the language of your customers? This is why this is important. It's a great way to make sure that they can find the information they need easily. All right, now I showed you some best practices on how to get your articles in your knowledge base, and even taught you how generative search can deliver accurate context-aware content to your end users right at the top of the search results in your help center. Well, Tatiana is going to show us how easy that is to set up and what your customers will see. So over to you, Tatiana.
I used some recommendations that Michelle just shared with us, and I set up my knowledge base using them. And as you can see, this help center is about Green Bank, and I will ask a question, how to open joint account. And let's see what it will answer. There is a process looking for quick answer, and I got the answer. It gives me a brief intro where to start. And if I want to know more, I will click on the link and will read more. So how it works? First, when you write a query, it queries Help Center search. And then we have some top results that we send to OpenAI, and it returns to us the answer. And for generating an answer, it can be post, or it can be article, or it can be external content that you can connect through the federated search or crawler. And now I'm going to show you how to set up generative search. So there are two steps. First is to activate the feature. It's in the search settings. Here, quick answers. And you can see the checkbox was already checked because I already have the feature. And the next step is theme. Right now, when the feature in early accessible program, you need to modify your live theme. But later, when we are going to make it available without need to sign up, for standard themes, this will be out of the box, so you won't need to update your theme. But I will show you right now how to do this. And when I refer to standard theme, it is a theme that you have never accessed code. But if you accessed, even later, you will need to modify it. And let's see how to do this. It's very easy. And here there is a helper that I added before. I added right under the main content section, so it will appear, so generative answers will appear above the search results. And if you want to get even more from your knowledge, we recommend you to activate AI agents. And that was all for demo. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Yes, thank you, Tatiana, for the demo of generative search. That was pretty cool, right? As Tatiana showed us, generative search transforms the search experience in your help center. And when it's paired with AI agents, you truly unlock AI success with your knowledge base. It meets your customers where they are in the help center on any channel. Okay, now it's time to hear from all of you and answer your questions. Myself and the rest of the team are excited to answer them. So let's dive into Q&A.
All right, thank you everyone for joining us today. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into our Q&A session. First question is for Michelle. Which AI features can we use with our enterprise plan?
Okay, yes. If you're looking for AI-powered tools to help you improve your knowledge base, as we discussed, a great place to start is with uncovering those common issues to populate your knowledge base. So you can utilize your intent dashboard. That is an AI-powered feature to identify those common top issues that your customers are talking about. You can also utilize generative AI tools for your knowledge base, such as Expand and Tone Shift, to accelerate the article creation process, which eliminates the need to have to start from scratch. Then you can also get information to your agents and employees when you enable generative search in your help center. This also sets your AI agents up for success, and you can also access AI agents. So it's intent, generative AI tools for your knowledge, generative search, and AI agents are tools that you can use with your enterprise plans.
Great, thank you, Michelle. Next question is for Cassia. What content types are usable for Zendesk generative AI responses? And is it able to pull information from embedded graphics or videos within knowledge articles?
Great question. So for now, we are using only text-based content. And there's a little bit of a difference between different generative AI responses. So when it comes to Gen AI search, so the one that you just saw in a demo, this pulls information from all of the articles, posts, community posts, as well as federated sources if you're using our federated search. When it comes to AI agents, both essential and advanced, for now they are using only text information from the articles and federated sources. We are planning to add crawling the embedded graphics. So we're planning to add support for images and also for embedded files. I think text files and PDFs are the first ones that we have on a roadmap later this year. So it's coming pretty soon.
Great, thank you, Cassia, and great question from John. Next question is for Tatiana from Kelly. Will generative search results ever be available for non-logged in users?
We have good news for you. Yes, it's going to be available for anonymous users, or in other words, you won't need to sign in to have the access. But while the feature in the early accessible program, it will be only for logged in users. Once we release it to public, then it will be available to everyone. I mean, to all anonymous users.
Sounds good. Thank you. Next question is from Michelle from Natalie. Does the organization of our knowledge base articles impact how AI agents use them?
Hi, Natalie. Yes, that is a good question. And I'm glad you asked. So while the organization of your knowledge base doesn't directly impact your AI agents and how they use them, it indirectly has an effect. So let me explain a little deeper. The better your knowledge base is organized, the better you and your admins or your author can do your job to make sure that there's accurate, up-to-date information in your knowledge base, which does impact your AI agents. Think about it this way. If your articles are spread around with no true organization, it can be difficult for you and your teams to identify those gaps. So organization is a good habit to keep a healthy knowledge base. which allows you to unlock AI success with your knowledge base.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Next question is for you again from Marianne. How can we use the information from our tickets to help populate the knowledge base and improve our AI?
Yes, good question. You can use your ticket data to boost your knowledge base and improve the AI. It can be super effective. And here are a few things that you can do that. You can review your common tickets. You can use this to spot recurring questions solved with like a one-touch with your agents. If customers keep asking that same question, you can turn that into a helpful article. You can also check your categorized tickets. These reflect the main topics or issues that your customers face. You can use them to make sure that your knowledge base covers the essentials. You can also look into popular macros. If your team uses the same responses repeatedly, those can be transformed into articles or refined for AI. And then one last thing is you can take those responses from your agents, copy and paste those responses into an article, and then use the generative AI expand feature to flesh out a polished, complete article. So your tickets, they do have a lot of insight for you.
Great, thank you. Next question is for Cassia from Lydia. What is the institute for the soon-to-be sunsetted content queues?
Yeah, great question. We don't really have a one-to-one replacement for content queues for now. We're not planning to build a separate space in the knowledge for that. But we're having a lot of plans to bring data, insights, and benchmarks inside of the product in a very contextual manner. So I can't answer you what will happen instead of content queues as a place in a product, but I can promise you that even this year, data points will come closer to where you are actually working as an admin and will allow you to take meaningful actions to improve your knowledge base.
Great, great question, Lydia. Next question is from Michelle. What is the impact on AI when your knowledge base has gaps?
Yes, Chris, I love this. And you are asking exactly the right questions. So if your knowledge base, your single source of truth, lacks the necessary information, it directly impacts the success of your AI. So your AI generated answers in the help center or your AI agents, they'll struggle to provide customers with the information that they need. This doesn't just hinder the AI performance, but it also really diminishes the overall customer experience. So remember, both your agents and your customers, your entire organization depends on the strength of your knowledge base.
All righty, next question for Maddie from Allison. How does the AI agent find information from our help center? Do titles, initial sentences, and labels help it suggest the right articles?
Hey, Allison, thanks for the great question. I would say it depends on where AI is being used within Zendesk. So it functions a little bit differently, for example, when we're talking about generative search like you saw today versus some of our AI agent offerings, Copilot. All in all, though, I would say the title and the first 75 words of your article will always be the most important. So anything you can do to create really clear titles using your audience's language, so matching the way they're going to search for information, structure the content really well, as simply but contextually as possible. And if a piece of content is really long, put a summary at the top in the first 75 words. With labels can really be helpful in kind of curating a pool of content that you want an AI tool to pull from. So if there are, for example, articles that you don't want to be included in the results or for answers to be generated from, maybe you want to exclude those with a label. But generally speaking, the answer will be generated from the article body itself, but a label can be helpful in curating the pool of content that an AI agent pulls from.
Great. Great question, Allison. Next question is for you, Maddie, from Natalie. Do AI agents look at the name of the support article to determine if it should pull from it or just the first 75 words of the article?
Yeah, I think hopefully a little bit of a duplicate of the last question, but thank you, Natalie, for asking both. The answer is both for sure. And I know as a best practice on our team, we try to not duplicate the exact same sentences between the title and the first 75 words of the article. It's an opportunity to maybe rephrase or use synonyms if your audience describes things in two different ways. Both are equally important, and I would say use that opportunity to make sure you've captured as many end user, customer, audience friendly words as you can in both.
All right, sounds good. Next question for Tatiana from Lydia. How can we use search sources, crawlers, and search filters to enhance the AI answers in the knowledge base?
Right now, generative answer can be generated from 3 sources. It's articles, posts, or external content that you can connect through the federated search API or crawlers. But we don't prioritize one source type over another source type, so you cannot influence the rating using them. And if you use filters, it will have impact on the generated answer because you will have a different results that we will be using to generate.
Great. Next question for Maddie from Mickey. Would you recommend combining information into a single article or breaking it into separate articles? Which approach works better for generative AI responses and AI agents?
I love this question, Mickey. Thank you for asking. I'd say a general rule of thumb is it depends on whether you're covering a single topic or not. That's not always like a complete answer, I know, and I'll explain a little bit. I think if you're, answering a specific question that comes up really often, it can make sense to pull that information out of a longer article and address it independently in a unique article. That said, if you're talking about like a process that requires multiple steps to perform, I would recommend you have all the steps together in one place. Otherwise, what we always say is if a human is confused by an article, they're likely to, they might follow breadcrumbs. They might follow like your related suggestions or click a hyperlink if you tell them to read more. An AI agent, truly any technology out there, is not going to necessarily seek further information the same way. It's only going to get the context of what you provide to it. So what I would say is if you've got like true FAQs that kind of can stand alone, you don't need to know more than the question and the answer, by all means pull that out into a unique article. That will help with lots of different kinds of SEO, by the way, not just for Gen AI or AI agents. But if you're talking about a topic that's a little bit more complex or involved or requires multiple steps, I would capture that all in one place wherever possible.
All righty. Thank you, Maddie. Next question for Ricardo from Kelly. What are the best time-saving tips for content writers to utilize AI to ensure accuracy while streamlining operations?
Hi, thank you so much for the question, Kelly. I think I would highlight 2 best time-saving tools that we use here in Zendesk. The first one being the generative AI tools that allow expansion and enhancing of the article content. Here in Zendesk, we allow our agents to participate in the process of creating and updating content in our help center, and many times what our writers do is copy the answer that was given by the agents in tickets, paste it in the article editor, and then use these tools to optimize and to make the content more presentable and more structured. Then the second tool that or tip that allows us to save time is using knowledge in the context panel. Having templates, in particular the templates feature, it allows us to streamline the content that we have published, and it creates consistency in our content.
Awesome. Thank you, Ricardo. Another question from you from Anna. What is the biggest gotcha when building out a knowledge base to be utilized by AI?
Right. Thanks, Anna, for your question. I wouldn't say it's just a big gotcha, but I think what I would highlight here are small changes to the way that you structure the content. So for instance, if we are talking about titles, subtitles, let's be very let's be very precise on what we are saying. So for instance, if we have an article that is FAQs, let's just say FAQs about what it is about. That will help the AI reading the content and providing better answers. Another thing that I could highlight is the use of bullet points and number lists. So it helps tremendously if you use them accurately, which means that if there's a sequence of things that your customers need to follow, you will use a numbered list, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. But if there's no sequence that needs to be used, then you can use normal bullet points.
Great. Thank you. And great question, Anna. Next question is for Maddie from Raphael. What key performance indicators should we track to measure how well we are managing and improving our knowledge base?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the very minimum, I would recommend anyone be measuring their self-service ratio. There are a number of ways you can do this depending on like how your audience is structured and what kind of content you make available to them. So consider what works for you. But at minimum, I would say always be comparing utilization of your knowledge base, whether that's page views or if you're using like some advanced web analytic tools, maybe you can measure sessions or even like users specifically and compare that to their behaviors in submitting tickets. So a really standard way to do this is number of views compared to number of tickets, or maybe number of users in your knowledge base compared to number of users in your tickets. It's a really good just sort of directional measure of if people are utilizing knowledge more than they're seeking human assistance, not just because that costs all of our businesses money, but because as consumers and problem havers, we all want faster answers and faster solutions to problems. But one idea I would call out in addition to that, on our team here at Zendesk, we pick a topic each quarter that we see is generating ticket volume, something that's causing confusion in our customer base or just leading to questions. We audit our content in that topic area, comparing it to the tickets. So looking for opportunities maybe to like improve findability in SEO, where it seems like the right answer is documented, but no one can find it. Sometimes we spot gaps in the knowledge base that we haven't yet filled. Other times it might just be optimization. Maybe it's just something new or complex that we need to provide like a video for, or something that makes information more accessible. And then we measure over a period of time, ideally the next quarter at least, how traffic to that kind of content is changing, ideally improving, we're getting more engagement, and how ticket volume looks. So kind of a more focused way, I think, to measure the success of your efforts in the absence of like, most of us don't have a perfect environment where we know all of our users or exactly what behaviors they're taking. Anonymous content is helpful too, but just one way to think about it. And my final thought on this one, I think if you're not already, one of my biggest pieces of advice to know how you're doing is to ask your audience. If you have the ability to like survey them on a regular basis or conduct interviews or focus groups, I think that's not only a great way to, sort of benchmark for yourself, give yourself a starting point to measure against, but you'll also get really great insights out of it by listening them directly and letting them tell you where things need improvement or where some of your gaps are. And then, of course, you have something to measure your progress against too. So I think it's always important to kind of triangulate your more like discrete numbers and headlines against the feedback that you get as well and measure sentiment.
Great. Thank you, Maddie. Next question for Cassia. What does the roadmap for Zendesk Knowledge look like?
Okay, this is by far my favorite question. I love answering it because this is where I can tell you about all of the exciting things that are happening. So we are thinking about knowledge right now, or not right now. We've been thinking about it for a long time, but we're thinking about knowledge as a foundation for all of the other experiences, to be honest. It powers Gen AI search, it powers AI agents, it powers Copilot. It is important as a source for information for the bots, for your agents, and also right now it powers Service Catalog, which is an exciting thing that came out to the EAP earlier this week. So it is the foundation for everything. So what we're thinking about is how we can improve the searchability of knowledge. So how we can improve the accuracy and of retrieval of knowledge for AI agents, for Gen AI search, and also for your agents in the knowledge and agent workspace, and how we can bring more sources. So maybe not only the articles that you have in Guide, in knowledge, but also if you have any knowledge that is sitting in Slack, or is it any knowledge that is sitting in Confluence. This is very, very hot and heavy topic for us. I mentioned that we're supporting Copilot. We have a whole area in knowledge which is called procedures, and this is where you can tell your Copilot how to behave in handling certain tickets. This is also happening in knowledge, and we're planning to introduce it, build up on what we have right now and make it much more mature and much more robust product. And the last thing is that we are planning to build more and more features to make it easy for you to manage things at scale. So we've talked about article multiplacement. It's coming to GA soon. After GA, we're planning to continue improving it and make the management of many thousands of articles that I know that you deal with easier than it is right now. The new article editor goes to GA also this spring. After it's getting GA'd, we're planning to build things like advanced article components that will allow you to drag and drop, for example, tabulation to your articles, or accordions. We are launching self-service dashboards that will, for example, consist of anonymous users tracking. That is also very highly requested. And we'll still keep improving the experience that you have in attachments that you add to your articles, or in a future procedures maybe. So adding search to media library, or search by content to the media library, and generally investing in this area as well.
Great, thank you. And that's the end of our Q&A, but I know we had some live questions come up during this Q&A, so I will go ahead and start asking those, and then if any of our experts want to jump in and answer those, that would be awesome. So first question, is there anything on the roadmap to use AI to help manage tags or help check articles so that they adhere to our style or guide?
I think I'll take this one. We don't have anything specifically for managing tags right now. And the second part was, Brett, can you remind me?
Yeah, so the second part was, or help check articles so that they adhere to our style guide.
Yeah, for the style guide, yes, we're thinking about introducing a brand tone of voice sometime in the future. I can't really commit when. For tags, not really something that we're looking into right now, but we are being very flexible when it comes to addressing, to building those AI features according to our customers' needs. So I will suggest you to submit it to our community because we're really reading this feedback and reacting to it as soon as possible.
Sounds good. Thank you. Tatiana, is there anything you wanted to add there? I saw you came on camera. Okay, good. All right, just wanted to make sure. Next question, is there a way that quick answer can work in incognito private mode browser in the future?
Yeah, I can take this one. Yeah, in future you can use it in the incognito mode, but you need to have a public help center, because if the help center will require sign in, you cannot use it somewhere else.
Sounds good. Great question. Next question. Our knowledge base is agent only and most of the information is process explanation. However, some of it is internal. How would we separate it so that AI does not use internal information which should not be shared out to the users?
Anyone? Okay, so the good thing is that how we build the retrieval for the knowledge is that it always respects the visibility permissions. So if your articles are internal and the person who's asking a question is external, they won't feed into providing the information. So that's on top of my mind. Tatiana, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I can say that generative search will also respect the user segment. So if the user who is searching does not have the access, they will not be able to get an answer based on some content that is restricted to them.
All right, thank you. Last question I see here. Once generative search is out of EAP, will it be made available to the Copenhagen theme with templating API v1?
Yeah, we plan to make available across all currently available templating APIs, which is starting from 1 until I think the latest 4. So yeah, it will be.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you everyone so much for the questions. I will go ahead and hand it back to Megan. And yeah, thank you everyone.
Awesome. Great work, everyone. Any other questions that we have in the Q&A that we haven't gotten to, we of course will follow up after the event, but we thank everyone for being here today. Lots of great questions. Thank you so much to the product team for walking us through all that exciting stuff specific to knowledge. And we'll see you at our next event here soon.